Next question, the possibility of hemp production seems like a viable third crop, especially the hemp building products that are similar to cement blocks. It seems to be friendly to the land. Can we promote hemp?
We can and should promote hemp, but we've kind of missed the boat on hemp a little bit because we insisted on sticking with corn and soy for so long. In Canada, Canadian farmers have gotten the jump on us a little bit. And so my understanding is that Canadian farmers are already oversupplying hemp. And so as we encourage that as a third crop, again, I think that's good. We need to do that. We're going to definitely have to aggressively develop domestic markets for hemp. And so I think we can do that. I mean, we see Neg in the news. What does he do? He goes on these trade missions, right? Where's he going? Well, he's going to Vietnam and, wherever else. I don't know. You can't even keep track all corners of the earth. Let's have some domestic trade missions. Let's have some domestic trade missions where we're promoting these alternative crops that we could grow here, like hemp, like apples, like oats. Let's have domestic trade missions so we can get these products grown here such that farmers can prosper by growing them.
Great. The next question. If you were elected to the Secretary of Agriculture, what would be your first, second, and third changes to Iowa policy with regard to nutrient pollution, food security, and crop diversification? Policy specific.
So what are the three again?
Nutrient pollution, food security, and crop diversification.
So the nutrient pollution, our flagship water quality policy is the Iowa Nutrient Reduction Strategy. And you should know that that is Farm Bureau's policy.
Yep.
All right, that was developed by Farm Bureau and other ag interests in, 2011, thereabouts, 2012. And so that's the framework that we have here. It's entirely voluntary. There's no deadlines established for it. We have some numerical goals, but it's toothless, and so we've seen really no progress, especially on nitrogen, since the thing was enacted in 2013. In fact, if you look at Iowa State University, the Nutrient Research Center dashboard, the website shows the last year reporting, 2024, was the worst year ever for nitrogen loss. So the idea about the nutrient strategy that's working, we hear that's the rhetoric, it's working, it's working, it's working. Well, it's working for agriculture because the thing is there to persuade EPA to not come in and write a TMDL for the Mississippi River, come in and regulate pollution in the Mississippi River. So it's working for them. It's not working for us. Right. So, it's enshrined in Iowa code, so any new Secretary of Agriculture is going to have to work with that within that framework for at least for a while. And so the thing about it is the implementation part of it is what we call the WQI part of it, the demonstration projects. And within that, NEG has a lot of authority to spend money how he wants. And so, we saw the Democratic Water Act that was proposed this week. They're proposing to increase funding from 10 million to 30 million. Obviously, if I'm Secretary of Agriculture, I want the 30 million. We're going to do some new stuff. We're not going to do these Band-Aids. This batch and build thing is the craziest thing I've ever heard. American public media came in and showed that it was just almost a fraud practically. And so we're going to do different stuff. We're not going to do these Band-Aid conservation practices. We're going to address with tax dollars, with the nutrient strategy dollars, we're going to do things that address the intrinsic vulnerabilities of the system to produce pollution in the first place. The second thing is food security. Again, we have the greatest place on earth to grow things. Why are we wasting so much of our land on something we don't need, which is ethanol? And so the capacity here to get all Iowans eating local food is extremely large. We could we could get free lunch and breakfast for every school kid in Iowa. We could get that and have them eating all Iowa food and nothing else for less than half the cost of vouchers. Okay? And so this is something we can do. It's within our policy. And it takes leadership from the Secretary of Agriculture. Again, the bully pulpit. We need to prioritize these things, and we need to give cover to people in the legislature so they can vote for these sorts of things. The third thing was what?
The third thing was, if I find that right.
Yeah, I was going to forget.
It's okay. It's okay. Crop diversification.
Crop diversification, and so again, I go back to the old Ronald Reagan thing. If you want more of something, you subsidize it. If you want less of something, you tax it. And so, look, one thing we could do to look at in taxation, tax fall anhydrous. We know it's the worst practice there is in terms of fertilization. We know that farmers apply more nitrogen when they apply in the fall with anhydrous. Why don't we tax that, right? Why don't we tax it? Why don't we do other things? I put out a piece a couple months ago, and so we can limit the amount of contiguous area planted to one crop. We can reduce fall tillage. We can do just a whole menu of things that make it harder to grow corn and soy all the time. And so, how do we get more diversity? Also, we can subsidize the various crops. And so all this money we put towards public support of ethanol and the two big crops, crop insurance. There's no reason why we can't develop policy that subsidizes the production of other crops. I mean, this is not mysterious.
Right.
When I get these questions, it's like, oh wow, that's a big mysterious thing. How could we possibly do that? It's not that hard because we have the model. The model is corn soy. How did we get all this? We subsidized it, right? And we didn't regulate the pollution. So if we want farmers growing, clovers or alfalfa or, vegetable crops or whatever, well, it's, look, we subsidize that activity and we tax the stuff that we don't like.